The Iranian-backed Hezbollah is set on rebuilding as a military force to resume its fight against the Jewish state. Meanwhile, in Gaza, an isolated Hamas could be ready to make a hostage deal. Paul Strand has the story from Jerusalem.
U.S. intelligence says Hezbollah is recruiting more fighters and looking for more weapons. Reports indicate the terror group aims to rebuild and continue its fight far into the future, despite Israel destroying more than half its weapons and killing thousands of its fighters. The ceasefire specifically forbids the terror group from rearming, a main concern for Israel in the negotiations. As for Hamas in Gaza, Israel's defense minister says the IDF's degradation of Hezbollah and successful strikes against Iran have isolated the terror group, increasing the odds it will do a hostage deal.
Both the places of deterrence of Iran and what's happening in Lebanon, and in all places, the intensity of the pressure of this monstrous organization called Hamas is increasing, and there's a chance that this time we will really be able to advance a hostage deal.
The Israeli government reportedly has submitted a new ceasefire proposal. Meanwhile, President-elect Trump, who is said to want a deal before he takes office, has appointed Adam Boehler, one of the negotiators of the Abraham Accords, as a special envoy for hostage affairs. The IDF says it's recovered the body of another hostage, Itai Svirsky.
Itai was kidnapped from his parents' home in Kibbutz Be'eri on October 7th. His parents were murdered by Hamas terrorists. Itai was kidnapped alive. In January, we announced he was murdered, and together with him, Yossi Sharabi was killed.
In the U.S. Capitol, New York lawmakers honored Omer Nutra. The native New Yorker was an Israeli-American serving in the IDF who was captured on October 7th and now determined to have been killed that day.
Omer, serving as a tank commander, was among the first to respond to Hamas's brutal attack, risking his life to protect others. Tragically, as we learned this weekend, his life was taken during this horrific massacre.
And on this day of pure evil, Omer Nutra lost his life commanding his tank platoon in defense of Israel against these barbaric Hamas terrorists.
I now ask that all members join me for a brief moment of silence in honor of Omer Nutra.
Paul Strand, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Gordon Hayes, an Israeli delegation is on its way to Cairo for negotiations, and they're hoping that Donald Trump's warning against Hamas will make a difference this time.
We'll see. I have every hope that it will, because we need to stand strong against this. But I'll have a point of caution. We're already seeing with Hezbollah with the ceasefire. In their ideology, they want to wipe Israel out. That's what they have proclaimed that they want to do, and they're quite upfront with their intention. They also pledge allegiance to the Ayatollah, so they're essentially an Iranian proxy and a shadow government within a larger government of Lebanon, and they're also a political party. Hamas is a political party, and they're an offshoot of the Muslim Brotherhood. They also have vowed to wipe out the Jewish state. Their entire thing is creating a totally Palestinian state in place of Israel, and that means genocide. It means wiping out every single Jew living in Israel. So let's recognize what they're saying and believe them. These are in their founding documents. It's not like they've hid it. They've put it out there for the entire world to see. If there's a ceasefire, if they release the hostages, is it just giving them an opportunity to reload? Hezbollah right now is reloading, and their ideology hasn't changed. They haven't somehow come to the realization that it's a good idea to have Israel in the Middle East. They haven't come to that. Hamas isn't coming to that. And so are we just sort of playing this game of let's kick the can down the road? At some point in time, the entire world needs to stand up and say, no, this ideology is wrong at its core. You don't have the ability to do this, and not on our watch. We vowed after the Holocaust that we will never forget. We will remember, and we vowed never again. In our generation, right now, it's happening. The anti-Semitism rising around the world, the let's wipe Israel off the map, to hear on the streets of America from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. And for people not to understand, that means killing every single Jew in Israel. No, this cannot happen in our generation. We need to stand firm, and we need to stand until this ideology is completely removed.